Hello everyone. So I'm downtown Sudbury, currently at a memorial site. Okay. Now this isn't a war memorial site. This is actually a war of a different kind. This is an overdose memorial site of the ever so increasing overdoses that have been going on since COVID. This site has doubled in these crosses. So, yeah, I want to talk a little bit about Sudbury and the esoteric, spiritual nature of this place. Okay, so Sudbury, billions of years ago, was on the equator in the tropics when it was one continent. And it was only single-cell organisms on the planet at that time. And a meteor came and struck the planet and changed the planet, basically facilitating modern day life. Billions of years went by for that to happen. However, Sudbury, this nickel capital, this mining town giant, okay, is mining that meteor. So I want to talk about the Hopi and how they viewed meteors. The Hopi viewed meteors, they call them kachinas, and kachinas meant spirit or consciousness. So under that lens, we could look at the meteor that hit Sudbury as the spirit that seeded life, that seeded modern day life anyhow on the planet. And Sudbury is known as the Rainbow District. The rainbow is a symbol of life. And just over there, down over there, we have what's called the Bridge of Nations. And the Bridge of Nations is also shaped in a rainbow, with all the flags of all the countries on that bridge, basically saying that they are supporting the mining of this spirit. Now, the metals from Sudbury have been used, basically all the weapons, most of the weapons from World War I and World War II came from the metals here. The beams in the Twin Towers came from the metals here. And much of the metals used in the Hadron Collider all come from the metals here. So this spirit that brought life to our planet, we have been using it to wage death and war across our planet. And so I feel like this is largely about the tree of knowledge, just as we are refining the metals, refining the ore that we get from below the surface here in Sudbury. Life is about the refinement, the purification of the soul. So as we face these trying days, the future is uncertain. But the one thing that is certain is the betterment of our soul. If we are awake and aware and decide to move that way. I lived on a native reserve on the north part of town here. And the lake is called Lake Wanapitei. Lake Wanapitei is on the edge of the meteor impact site, and is said to even be a meteor site of its own, which would be the rarest astrological event here on Earth, a meteor impact within a meteor impact. But Lake Wanapitei means Lake of the Dead. It also means source of life. Okay? This is all an illusion. This is all the trials of bettering our soul. If we live our life to embody what our soul has come to change on the planet. Or we can allow the planet to change us. And now that wouldn't be really refining our soul very much now, would it? So, yeah, I feel like there is... Okay, well, I ran out of data, but yeah, I do have more to say that I want to talk about. So right now, what I want to talk about, I want to point out first that staff and this wall hanging that I've created that I've named Misha Pishu. Okay, Misha Pishu, I lived on the Wanapate First Nations Reserve for about 7 years, and the cultural coordinator was telling me about the lynx serpent that the Ojibwe of the Algonquin area believed, of the Great Lakes regions, that this deity protected the waters. And I look at this deity much like the jaguar serpent or the rainbow serpent, or, you know, the dragons in Asia, Nessie or Ogopogo, you know, the snake in the Bible. I all feel like they're all talking about the same thing. And you know, I mentioned earlier about the tree of knowledge, right? So what I feel is that this snake, I look at the sun traveling through space with all the planets traveling in its wake, creating a vortex, can be viewed as one body. And that body, I feel, is the snake. And that snake can manifest itself, maybe not in physical form, but at least in a metaphysical state here on Earth. And anyhow, that being a side note, I view this as nature, and nature can be brutal, nature can be ugly, but nature can also be very beautiful. And anyhow, the cultural coordinator told me a story at a time around where there was a boat accident on the lake. And she was telling me that this snake likes to be recognized, wants to be noticed, and therefore that's where the tobacco offerings came in. And also the name of the lake, Lake Wanapitei, meaning lake of the dead or source of life. Okay, it's all about perspective. Now, nature wants to be appreciated, wants to be cherished. It wants us to be grateful for it, and it wants us to be thankful for the gifts that nature offers. And when nature, when this, so to the Ojibwe, when the snake, when Misha Pishu was not being recognized, that death would come about. So I want to take that story and paint it over the larger, over the planet, and looking at coronavirus and the vaccines and you know, all the deaths that are happening. And these are all this is all going on from the people who are losing faith in nature, and they have fallen to fear. And yeah, you know, where do I want to go with that, which I just shared? Well, you know, those who are sacrificing their businesses is like, to me, their tobacco offering. They have sacrificed their livelihood to stand courageous and brave in faith and trust that they are supported. Okay, and these are the warriors, and this is the refinement of their souls, to elevate themselves, to resonate at higher frequencies, to call in their tribes, their communities, and